السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. سيدا لغا ورقبو أفريكا دلال كلمان تكتشدا وفدقين الكوميتيين iyagoo hore qoomiyadu u ah waxa abuuritaan kooda sameeyay isticmaalkii oo magacyada u kala sameeyay xuduudana u kala sameeyay.
As you know, the African countries in general, the boundaries that now they have has been devised by the colonial powers.
waxa hadaba dhacay sanadihii dhammaadkii markii labadan dal isu tageen ee ay abuureen dalkii Soomaaliyeed markay abuureen waxay ka qayb gali jireen shirarkii OAU-da Addis Ababa waxaanay hordhigi jireen ajandayaal ama codsi ah in saddexdii qaybood ee Soomaaliyeed ee gumaysigu weli haystay la siiyo gobonimadooda oo ay Afrika ka shaqeeyaan.
In the 1960s, when our two parts, Somalia and Somaliland, united, the Somali government at that time put some agendas and ideas of the African Union conferences, arguing that we are just like now two parts of the Somali people in the whole of Africa. We want the other three parts to unite.
iyadoo markaa ujeedadoodu ahayd himiladii Somaliland markii hore soo xusay ee ahayd in Soomaali weyn
And in fact, that was the implementation of the expression of the idea that already Somaliland started in the earlier years, from the bring together the five Somali parts.
xilligaa OAU-du response-keedu ama tajaawubkeedu wuxuu ahaan jiray xuduudihii isticmaalka OAU-du waxay ixtiraamaysaa tixgelinaysaana xuduudihii isticmaalka ka jirta.
Of course, the answer to that proposal or idea that always coming from the African Union was that Africa will honor the colonial boundaries. So that dispute must not come, in any other form. That the African Union will honor the colonial boundaries that exist before the African countries became independent.
تيم كيلو واي دور السعيد سؤال وحوي ما انت Somaliland انا قد Somaliland دون ستاجد وحده وكفطنا حدوده استعمارك يا ربطان الشعب.
There are two premises of our agreement. The first one is that we are within the confines of the colonial boundaries. The second point is the self-determination. Our people want independence of Somaliland to exist as a I just conclude my remarks with a question: why the African Union does not recognize us? Thank you very much.
سؤال شكلي عن ويدينا يعني هو سؤال قدومية هي وفدقة ولي أفريقيا مياه كذا عضي طيورات انت كعضة قرون كتلك تبكي شوقي تمر شيء.
I just stand for one thing, just to mention a very historical point. Has anywhere in Africa witnessed the national forces of the country that the aeroplanes flew from the airport of that country, the capital of that country, and then bombarded its population? That is what happened to us. The national forces here, that the one we consider at that time our national forces, flew from the airport, the Air Force, they flew from the airport and they bombarded the population of Hargeysa. I just stand for that, to mention that historical point.
The fighting,
It bombarded the Hargeysa population.
سؤال شيء قلت دي أي دعضي الدنيا أي كوكتاي طيارين تجرون كذا كعضين يدد كذا بمقريسو إسكو نقشو وحلصوا هذا القاضي كراتون مجرو هيركي نقص
قاعدين how information to somebody that kind of history can go back to Somalia or to that I just stop for that.
تمام هذه أنت سوق سوق قلنا يببلك هذه الشيء aqaladeediina dumiyeen su-aal kolkaa afrika u taallaa maahe waa arrin somalilan iyo bablikeeda u taallaa kala go
And that the national army forces have restored weaponry, destroying the houses and the life of the community that they should represent.
وسيلة وقت يشوف إليه كوريا طبقة كويتة. أنا وقت يعني سيسن وكوريا طبقة يبرك. أنا الله فدي. وهي حسب وضع.
waftigu waa mahadsan yahay malaha soomaaliga ma yaqaano waftiga waxaan leeyahay urnooni ma nabad baa waaye anigu hadalla badan jeedin baa saddex gabdhood oo xogagaa noqosho aad tihiin waxaan ictiraaf dowladnimo inaan la noqotaan oo lagu dalaasho
Although you have been absent for a long time.
waxaan leenahay soomaaliyana rifkadu jeeda ma nihin wiil iyo mid yar iyo mid weyn inaanu xamar isku noqonno iyo inaanu maalin rogmano waxaanu dooranayna inaanu maalin rogmano
In fact, I hope you will understand our strong feelings of, the kind of a vein that we have any talk or any mention that tells us to go back to Somalia. In fact, it is even better to be eliminated on the earth. Because for us, it's really something that we cannot believe, we cannot understand.
caalamka kale oonu mucaahado la yeelano oonu wax la qabsanaa baa loo dhaaftan meeshii aanu kala baxnay ee Soomaaliya lagu jeedo
We just wanted to say that we are hoping now to have a new relationship with our neighbors and other parts of the world that we have came into contact since our withdrawal from the Union.
waxaan ugu dambaysiiyey waana la bareeray gabadha qule maanta guraya ugu weelisee ta codsatay inay hadasho baa nima sheegay si fiican u dhegeyso Yeah. She's not a member of parliament.
But she's
She has asked, she's the only one who has asked. That's why I allowed her.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. مدنياشة هورتا رالي هيقع هذا because waxaan isiri maadan aanay labadii golo aanay gabadhi ku jirin at least qof kaliya waa inay ka hadasho ay meesha ka The reason why I stood up to talk is that we have the two highest houses in Somaliland gathered here today. And unfortunately, there's not one single woman amongst them. So I thought it was rather embarrassing and that I should take their stand and talk on their behalf. I would like to say I'm not a member of parliament, although I usually act as an honorary member on most occasions when I'm needed. But today I would like to just ask two questions on behalf of the Somaliland community. The Somaliland community would like to know, and there's only one question that they have in their minds and in their hearts. After reading the AU Charter, it talks about human rights, the rights of the people, which includes the right to self-determination, the right of every human being, every man, woman and child, to be able to stand up and say, we want our own self-determination, our own government, our own nation, our own sovereignty, our own people. It's the rule of law, good governance. All these are things that are existing here today. And I think that you have seen it on your travels. You have traveled from Hargeysa to Berbera to Bora You have traveled for the last 2.5 days, and I am sure in those 2.5 days you have seen peace, security, no guns, no technicals, and nobody who was wishing you any ill harm. Well, it says that we must respect, the AU must respect the existing borders at the time of independence. Article 4B in your AU Charter. All these that I have explained has been attained in good faith and in hardship without any assistance from the international community or any African country. What we would like to know is why the voices of 3 million Somaliland people whose voices have not been heard. They are looking at you and they are wondering why the AU, who is stating in their that they believe in African democracy, they believe in Africans being their own owners, they believe in the extermination of slavery, they believe in the life of a human being to be able to live in harmony. If that is the AU Charter, if that is what the AU community stands for, why is it closing its eyes? Why is it blind to the Somaliland people? In your own Bible, it says, it took the voices of Jericho, it took the voices of people to bring down the walls of Jericho. Are you waiting for the Somaliland voices to bring down the walls of the AU? We only want one thing from you. Recognition is not something that we are asking for. It's not something that we should even ask for. It is not something that you have the right to give. It is something that God gave us on the day that God made human beings. It is the right of the people. It is our human and public and people's rights to say, we don't need your approval, we don't need you to tell us that we are a sovereign nation. We are a sovereign nation. We have the backing of our people. It is our people and the Somaliland people who we take our determination from. And they were the ones in May that took the elections by the horns and stated with all their voices and with all their hearts, we want our independence back. We want our self-determination. So we are asking you, please, read your AU charters. Don't read it with closed ears. Don't read it with closed minds. And don't read it with the international community breathing down your back. Be an African nation. Be our brothers. Be our friends. Give us our rights.